There's no doubt that in the wintertime in North Carolina, the mirror lure reigns supreme. And for newer anglers, I think that once they gain a certain competency and level of success with twitch baits, they tend to put everything else away until spring. Well, that's a mistake. And in this video, I'm going to give you some food for thought on why you may want to keep those swim baits close by in the winter months. Before we begin, I feel it's important to say I made a video with this Gamakatsu weighted hook 3 years ago. It's this video right here. If you haven't watched it, it's a short video and it bears relevance on this video today because I no longer use that hook. Check out that video, there's a link in the description below. I have since moved on to this jig head, the Texas Eye, for fishing winter trout in deeper water where blowdown and snags are a problem. When rigged weedless, the Texas Eye can pull right through a debris field and it hooks fish way better than the Gamakatsu. I'll get into that in a minute. Alright, I'm back out here again today. It's much colder. We're on the tail end of a cold snap. I'm going to throw this swim bait again on this Texas Eye. I'm going to put a little Procure on it because I think it helps. By the way, that swim bait is a 5-inch diesel minnow. The color is bad shad. I'm just going to fish it straight retrieve, nice and slow. I'm trying to stay right off the bottom where I feel like these trout would be. The water's about 7 feet deep out in front of me. There we go. First cast. I've got a net in the boat with me and would definitely use it for a monster fish, but in the interest of keeping things quiet and the fact that these hooks usually bury pretty deep in the jaw, I'm just going to hand land most of these fish. I hope you'll give this video a thumbs up if you find this information useful, subscribe to the channel for more content like this, and drop a comment below. Very effective. Very effective. And as you can see, that swim bait did not move at all on that hook. That was a hard strike, brought the fish all the way in, and that little hook stopper kept that bait right there. I misspoke right there. That little device is actually called a bait keeper, and as long as you use baits with Elastic like Z-Man, that bait will not come off. It's pretty awesome. I have found the best thing you can do with this bait in the winter is a straight, slow retrieve. Between the articulating head and the action on this tail, I really don't think you're going to do much better. You can cover a ton of ground if you just keep casting and retrieving. That's a good fish. That is a good fish. Golly, look at that fish. All right, y'all. Another beautiful fish. Look at that rascal right there. Ooh. Big old trout. That was pretty epic. Now guys, obviously I've got more going for me here than a mystical bait on the end of my rod. I have fish in front of me and they're feeding. Those are the two key ingredients to catching fish, period. But with this bait, I can cover a ton of ground in a short time. I don't have to worry about getting snagged and blowing up the bite. And honestly, sometimes when trout are feeding, I think they prefer a swim bait to a suspended bait. They're out there hunting right now, and it's all about the chase. They'll turn off and become difficult soon enough, but for now, it's about maximizing the opportunity to land fish while the bite is on. At iStrike Jig Heads, they believe and advertise that their jigs have the largest eye, and I mean eyeball, on the market, thus resulting in a hard sell that it's a real bait fish. My experience has told me that this seems to be accurate. Trout at least seem to strike these jig heads with something that can only be called violent, and I think that's why the hookup ratio is so good. Nothing against Gamakatsu. I love their hooks. I use their hooks all the time, but that weighted jig head just does not perform nearly as well as this iStrike jig head. At least not for the purposes that I'm using it for. I'm sure there are other applications where that Gamakatsu weighted jig head would be perfectly fine in other scenarios. Even though the air temperature is 32 degrees this morning, it's been mild all week, so the water temperature is still hovering around 50 degrees. 2 more days of weather like this and I'll probably be right back to using peanuts and mirror lures. All right, y'all, that's 3 fish this morning on this bait. I haven't touched it. That soft plastic has stayed buttoned up tight. That's pretty awesome. Trout in water under 45 degrees are going to be less likely to chase a swim bait, although I have scored this winter in colder water more than once with swim baits. These are fickle fish, and trying to get in their heads will drive you crazy, but the pursuit is too addicting, and every now and then you get the formula just right, and it's incredibly rewarding. There we go. Yep. Another one. Look at that head shaker. So right about now, a crazy idea pops into my head. These fish are feeding really good, and I've got a bait in my box I've really been wanting to test out. I've thrown it a couple times this winter, but have never caught a fish on it, or had the confidence to throw it enough to find out if it could actually work. As good as this swim bait is performing, I'm going to put it down for now, because fishing is about learning, and I'm committed to trying new things. Plus, I think y'all will get a kick out of it. Alright y'all, there's something I've been wanting to try. I have fished it once or twice when the bite was not that good, but there seems to be a lot of trout around here this morning, so this is a shine glider. It's a 5 or 6 inch shine glider. I'm gonna throw it a couple times and see what happens. Let's see what we do on that. Probably get it snagged. Just had a bump. Oh gosh, y'all. How about that? Oh man, that was epic. On the Shine Glider. Dang, that was epic. That's a good trout too. Look at that. How cool is that? I was starting to wonder if this bait bought me or if I bought this bait, but that was nice. Good fish too. Well, the jury's still out on that one because that's still the only fish I've ever caught on that bait. But I could be onto something. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you on the next one.